here's Rob's forecast.
Welcome back. Well, gorgeous weather once again today. Tomorrow we squeeze in another nice one. Then a little bit unsettled for Wednesday, Thursday. Even a few showers in the mix, especially later Wednesday into Wednesday night. But after that, Friday and the weekend looking good. Then moving on into next week, initially warm, then a little bit cooler. But we'll be watching something interesting up toward the North Pole. So we'll talk more about that coming up in just a bit. First off, the bigger pattern as we look at the upper level pattern, we're pretty much being dominated by this ridge of high pressure. That's getting nudged a little bit farther to the east down toward Mexico and a smaller ridge over Texas. Eventually this breaks down and opens up the door for this frontal trough that has been producing some showers. That eventually works its way eastward and gives us the chance of rain that we mentioned. But another good one ahead for tomorrow. That weather system still a solid 36 to 48 hours away. And as we look at the high resolution GOES 16 satellite imagery, fair skies, it just gets a little milkier toward the end of this loop, reflecting that the temperatures are cooling off. And as we look at our wind particles, breezier offshore, but inland you can barely see them. Very light winds. So with nearly calm winds, temperatures drop a little bit more down to the dew point. So some patchy fog and maybe even some patchy frost. We'll detail the numbers on that in just a bit. First off, though, Futurecast indicating fair skies through tomorrow morning, mid-40s. Notice some high clouds will begin to come in during the course of the day, even some mid-level clouds. So fair to partly cloudy skies might be the call for tomorrow afternoon. Lunchtime temperature in the lower 70s, mid-70s in the afternoon, and drive time generally fair to partly cloudy skies. I would think we're going to see a pretty nice sunset tomorrow with some clouds coming in as we head into the evening hours. Going into tomorrow night, Wednesday morning, a definitive signal for fog, so factor that into your early morning travel plans for Wednesday morning. And then Wednesday afternoon, we'll be watching this frontal trough to the west. It's going to create showers west of us through midday on Wednesday, but eventually they slide eastward. So rain chances, I'm going 40%, but it's late, mainly late for Wednesday afternoon into Wednesday evening, overnight hours, and we might see our best rain chance. And then still the risk of an isolated shower first thing Thursday, but a frontal boundary will sweep on through. Cooler air comes in as we head into Friday, and this ridge of high pressure off to the north sets us up for a very nice weekend. Now, we're looking at the upper pattern here, and I'm looking at the European model, and what do meteorologists do? We look for the big changes, and what we're watching is the purple and white, the very cold air that goes all the way back through Siberia. This is early next week, so there's cold up air here, air up there. Down here it's nice and warm, but watch what happens as we advance the graphic. We start to see some of that very cold air heading toward the lower 48, and there will be a potential for an Arctic outbreak beyond December 7th, and that will carry into the following next week. How much of this cold air, or whether we see any of it at all, remains to be seen. But I would look for maybe the coldest temperatures of the fall and going into the winter season coming up around the mid-second week of the month of December. Tonight, though, upper 30s to lower 40s. This is where we may see some patchy frost by morning. Mid-40s I-10 corridor looks good, and low to mid-40s along the coastal parishes. And then we warm up nicely tomorrow afternoon. After that cool start, we'll get well into the 70s. Tomorrow night, not nearly as cool, upper 50s to lower 60s with clouds and some fog. And then Wednesday afternoon, well into the mid-70s once again. And it looks like Thursday again for Friday before that cooler air moves in. So another chilly night, maybe a little patchy frost to the north, patches of fog elsewhere, but it's going to be real shallow, so nothing major. 45 your low, 76 the high tomorrow, nice and mild, mostly sunny skies, but the clouds coming in for the afternoon hours. And as we head into Wednesday, there's that 40% again. That's tilted toward more Wednesday evening, 20% Thursday, and then Friday into the weekend. Looking pretty good. Temperatures, though, this weekend about 5 degrees above normal for afternoon highs, and even warmer into early next week before a little bit of a cool down. And then most meteorologists across the country getting a little excited when there's Arctic air. There's usually a storm system, and sometimes it's a snowstorm, not around here, but sometimes there are severe weather events around here. So a fundamental change in the pattern.
You can still be excited for